Conversations. Yeah. Conversations with Shaun Ruhland. What do you think? All right. Welcome to another episode of Play It Up podcast. Today I'll be your host, Neil Cairns, and I'm joining with me today is Dennis Edmonds. Dennis, how are you today?
Hello. Good. Not too bad, guys. I just managed to race home in time for the podcast. So been busy at Kongoff prepping cabs for the event with Mr. Adam Lee. So busy day.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely talk about that later with you, man. See how everything's shaping up for the big day tomorrow. And today we'll be interviewing with a bit of a flip, Shaun Ruhland.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I've always wanted to be on the podcast.
Yeah, bit of a different situation here, but yeah, always great to see you, Shaun.
Oh, thanks, mate. It's always great to see your beautiful smiling face and your beautiful smiling face as well, Dennis. Both of you guys were rocking a nice solid beard with sunnies, not sunnies, spectacles.
Glasses.
Yeah, just loving it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get on it, man. Just like,
Get
fuck
some
up
glasses?
your eyesight or something.
Yeah, well, I could actually get glasses if I wanted to. They said your eyes are shit enough to get glasses, but they're not shit enough that we need to tell you that you need them, basically.
Once you get them, they start to get worse. So put it off a little bit longer.
Yeah,
it's just another thing to lose and forget. So
Yeah, look at that.
All right. So,
on that.
Yeah, on that note, so let's get stuck into it, Shaun. So obviously we know a fair bit about you already, but I suppose the first question I'll ask you is how you got into Donkey Kong in particular.
Well, it's not a very, I guess, different story to what other people have. Like, I started to get into old school, like, I'd always been into video games, obviously, but arcade games specifically, I don't think I really played. I played Pac-Man. I had like an old phone that had a little joystick in the middle. Not a joystick, but it was before smartphones, and you could navigate with this. It basically was a four-way joystick, but it was like a nub. It was small. It wasn't for gaming, but I used that to play Pac-Man on my phone a shitload.
Yep.
I think that's actually my earliest sort of memories of getting into the classic arcade games. But I don't think it was the proper version, but it was old school Pac-Man style at least. And then I saw King of Kong at some point because one of my mates recommended it to me. And then that was sort of the beginning of, holy shit, there's like world records for this stuff. There's people who are into it. So I bought like a cheap USB joystick, which came with MAME on a CD with like 16,000 games or some shit. It was like 4 discs. Came with the joystick, and that's when I started playing like Burger Time and Donkey Kong and Pac-Man, Donkey Kong Jr., all of that, classics, Galaga and all that. Then at some point I decided to build an arcade machine with my dad, which just had a computer and MAME in it. I didn't really know the real size of arcade machines at the time, so it ended up being this big beast of a thing. It's huge, but it works out well for like having heaps of space on there for 2-player. I could even make it 4-player, like Turtles.
I think I've seen that one. Was that the one that was at JB's house for a while?
Yeah, the Sharkade, the Beast.
Yeah,
it's unnecessarily large. Yeah. You can't. But it even has pinball flipper things on the side, so you can play emulated pinball on it. And use the joystick as the plunger. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's called the Sharkade for Shaun's Arcade. Yeah.
Awesome.
Love it.
But I had played Donkey Kong a bit, like because of King of Kong. I never took it seriously to try to get the kill screen. I think my PB was like 25K. Mm-hmm. But then I went to Netherworld for my 29th or 28th birthday. It was like just before the first Kong off. So was that 2017? Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it was
Yeah,
my
yeah.
29th
Would have been.
birthday. And I saw that like this place was freaking amazing. And it just
Yeah.
got me into arcade gaming so much more, and pinball because you could get pins. And then I already liked pinball, but then actually learning how to play it properly to get scores and stuff was really interesting. But then Donkey Kong, a couple months after I went there for the first time, was it November the first Kong off? Aussie Kong off?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
Yeah, so
because
basically a month to 2 months after I went the first time, I was there on a Sunday, and it was actually day 2 of the first Aussie Kong off, but I had no idea. I talked to someone involved and said, "Oh, can I enter?" But it was already too late because qualifying was the day before. So I just watched a bit and saw like people on like level 4 and upwards springs, like the whole crowd like gasping when someone would retreat from going up the ladder because they had a long spring follow a long spring. And I didn't even know what any of that meant at the time. I was just like, oh shit, that spring was close to hitting him. But the crowd seemed to know more than me. But yeah, after that, I sort of got more involved with Netherworld, just naturally going there more, going to arcade club, meeting people like Neil, yourself, and Mike, and Johnny, and just everyone. And then by the time Kong Off 2 came around, I was really like deep into everything that Netherworld was doing and all the arcade tournaments and stuff happening. And
well, like I suppose like the original Boda had gone through in that time, which is a big part of like our friendship as a crew together and whatnot.
Yeah,
so
true. It was kind of Boda, wasn't it? That brought us all sort of closer together.
Yeah. And then like so when Kong Off 2 came around, everyone kind of knew each other.
Yeah, definitely. So I had gone from like 25,000, and then I think I set a PB of like 316,000 at Kong Off 2, and then got me qualified, which I was pretty stoked about. So yeah, big difference in a year, but still compared to what some people do. Yeah. Some people get a kill screen after a few months. It's crazy, right?
Still that's an impressive progress, I reckon, Shaun, like looking back at it. So
thanks, mate.
I don't want to steal your own story here, but I've got a funny memory of you getting that high score at Kong Off 2.
Give it to me. Give it to me. I think I know it.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks before Kong Off 2 rolled around, you had like a bit of surgery or something.
I had a sebaceous cyst on my neck. So basically like I don't know, kind of an uncancerous lump. Yeah. And I had that removed. So I think my neck was looking a bit weird.
Yeah. So when you play lots of arcade and pinball, it's pretty prominent when you're hanging out with your mates. So I used to, anytime I saw you or in the bar, I'd be like, "Hey, what's wrong with that guy's neck?"
Yeah, several fucking times a session.
Yeah, and it became a bit of our thing.
Cracked me up like every time too.
And it was funny when you were you were having that good. Yeah, that's what we're getting from this podcast. So that
but I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. It was so funny, man.
And it was funny because during Kong Off, I was saying to you all the time, but like it was getting pretty late in the evening, and all of a sudden I see Shaun on an arcade machine. So I'm like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah. Oh, here's my chance.
Hey, Shaun, what's wrong with your neck? And then like all of a sudden, I have a look at your score. I'm like, oh shit, this guy's actually having a good game.
Yeah, I think I was already like, my PB at the time was like 150K or something. Yeah, and I was already over 200.
You were about 220 when I said it, and then like all of a sudden I become all serious and like supportive of you trying to go for this. Yeah.
I remember your tone changing starkly. Like, it was a stark contrast from like, hey, what's wrong with that guy's neck, to, hey, Chief, you're doing really good there, mate. So keep going.
Yeah, keep up the don't break
you're
that
killing
concentration.
Yeah.
So,
Oh man,
I
nice
was
Neil.
that game just kept going. Like, it's funny because I was not really a 300k player at the time. Like, I could do springs kind of good, but enough to get to that point, it was kind of lucky.
yeah, well,
Awesome.
it was a significant jump, like I said, like going from like about 150 to about what 300.
Yeah,
That's insane.
I was
In one run.
pretty happy, and it just
Yeah.
motivated me more than going forward to like get even better. Because once you hit
Yeah.
that 300k mark, kill screen starts to pop in your head, and you
Yeah.
think, well, fuck, I have to do it now. It was funny at the time. I thought I would get one pretty soon. I was thinking like, yeah, sure, next few months, like all I have to do is just keep playing the same levels over and over again. I can do it. Little did I know how like ridiculously difficult and random the game can be, and how much shit it can throw your way.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
So, Shaun, were you getting any kind of like tips from anyone? Like there was a few new faces around then. We had Estelle Goffinet from the States, and who else did we have from the State?
Ethan Daniels.
Ethan Daniels, that's right.
Yeah.
Did you get any kind of like tips along the way that pushed your score up? Do you remember? Or?
I'm sure people would have given me tips. Like, I think me and Johnny Bond were pretty good mates by that stage, and he was obviously
Yeah.
a kill screen player, so I think he would have given me some tips. I think I was just learning from watching like some people's tutorials on YouTube. Like, I watched Hank Chen's. It's Hank Chien, isn't it? Chien.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched a video of his like giving you a kind of a rundown on how to be good at Donkey Kong, and that's actually where I got my what would you say, my method for the springs, where I actually like tap forward a bit. When I see that it's a long one, I tap forward to get a head start, and then when it's above my head, I go the rest of the way. It kind of gives me a good feeling of like, okay, this is the one, I'm getting ready, and then I go.
Yeah.
Instead of like that one big run once it's over your head.
Right.
I think I learned that from watching one of his videos, and yeah, so I didn't have too many tips from people. Probably throughout that next year and afterwards was when we were all like getting to learn the game and how little certain things about it together. Like Kibby at Kong Off 3 told me about Donkey Kong Manual, and how after he read it, he kill screened within a couple of months, and I still haven't finished it, so I really probably should do that.
Oh man, it's like the Bible.
I should read
it.
It's a long read.
I've got
for
it.
sure.
I've never read it.
Yeah, I think the thing for me is like, oh, I've got the time. I just want to play. But that's not the right approach. I should finish reading it because it's interesting too. Like you learn stuff from it you just have no idea about.
Should probably read it then.
Yeah, it's really well done. Really well put together.
It's a bit like play smarter, not harder. Like
totally.
The more you know, the better you will be at the game. Or you might not pick up a lot from the whole thing, but like if you just get a couple of things that increase your game, it's definitely worth it.
Well, that's right. Knowing one thing is the difference between like a really good 700k game and a kill screen.
Yeah,
because all it takes is like not dying one more time. It's amazing. Like,
thinking about how far you can get on one man.
Yeah,
sometimes that's all you need.
For sure. Some people have gotten a kill screen mostly on one man. I think Tekio's first kill screen, I think he was on his last man by like 300k or something. But he's not human, so I don't know if he counts.
We were talking about the first man points today when everybody was sitting down for a quick bite, and I think was it you, Neil, that you were talking to Jeff about the amount of points that he got on his first man, and and who was it that said that's like one of the best sort of scores that I've heard for a first man, and Tekio sitting there going like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what a beast.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Shaun here. Thanks to everyone who tunes into the Play It Up podcast. We really love doing this podcast and really appreciate everyone who listens. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching for Play It Up Podcast. You can find the full video podcast on YouTube, and you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, Anchor, and more. If you want to ask us a question, you can do so on Anchor, and your question will be featured on the podcast. If you like what we do, please remember to like, review, comment, follow or subscribe, and please recommend us to your friends. Thanks guys, and enjoy the episode.
So back to it, Shaun. Do you remember much of that game? Breaking that PB in front of everyone, and what that experience is like.
I remember it just felt awesome to have a good game, to beat my PB, and to have people like watching and supporting, and like kind of being. I don't think at that point for me playing games I'd been like at the center of attention at all, because I wasn't one of the best at anything. So that was a pretty cool feeling, just having that support, that sense of community coming out. And yeah, I just remember got past the 200K, and like that was huge for me. I was super stoked about that. And then next minute, like it's a blur, but next minute I'm over 300K. And I just remember like having the wrong attitude and just being okay with dying at that point, because it reminds me of my first kiss. I just couldn't wait for that night to be over for some reason, because it's like, oh, it's in the book now. I've done it.
It's done.
Yeah, it's done. I just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
Just want this day to be over.
Yeah.
It was weird, man. Like, obviously you're never okay with dying, and I wanted to push it as much as I could, but I was probably like too happy to worry about getting even further. And I think that easily qualified me, so the stress was kind of off. I didn't even know if I was going to qualify, but I was stoked with that for sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely like were a dark horse going in, I suppose. Like to qualify, I suppose there was a few of us that were playing up to the Kong off. But yeah, it was awesome to see you break your PB that day, and go through.
Thanks,
So
man.
what was the next day like? Do you remember much of the actual head-to-head comp?
I remember getting my ass kicked by Richie Knuckles. I knew he was a really good player, so I was thinking I probably don't have a big chance of beating him, but I should have just, like, now I think I could beat anyone, because it's Donkey Kong, and anyone who can get 200K or whatever can beat someone who can get a kill screen. They just have to have a bad game.
Yeah, anything can happen, man. RNG is just, Yep.
For sure. I mean, the percentages are in the people's favor who have higher PBs and more experience, I guess, but also someone could get a horrible start where all the wild barrels come, who's got a kill screen, and then someone else could get a PB who's never even cracked 200K and just have good luck and kill it.
Yeah, just have a dream run. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I do remember when I sat down next to Richie, he was like, don't be nervous, just play the game, play Donkey Kong. Like he said something like that. So I was still nervous. It didn't really help that much, but I appreciated it.
Yeah. It's good advice. It's hard to follow good advice most of the time. So yeah,
that's true.
Know that.
Was it Knuckles or Goffinet?
I thought it was Richie Knuckles, man.
Okay. Yeah, no dramas.
Actually, now that you mention it, because I remember Estelle beat me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Richie was sitting next to me, but I wasn't like versing him.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I saw on the stream. I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah.
Oh. Yeah, Estelle, I remember now, because he was the one who won the whole tournament.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I remember I was like okay with getting beat by him, because he was like a 1 million point player, plus he won. So I couldn't be too upset that little old me got beat.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a beast going in. I know that, like, Ethan Daniels was looking at being the best at the qualifying round, but like, yeah, Estelle had something good going on. Like he was playing consistent Kong throughout the whole time that he was there. Sorry, I just gotta open up the front door. Oh no, it's all good. Jen can get in.
G'day, Jen.
We'll just got it. G'day, Jen.
G'day.
Welcome to Play It Up
Jen.
Podcast.
I feel welcome.
Conversations.
Conversations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you conversing?
We are conversing.
Currently
Don't make fun of the name,
Please.
Jen. God.
It's a great name.
That
thought it
conveniently
was
puts you
alright.
in the running.
Oh,
Hey.
Okay, that was pretty good. But
If I get sent to jail, I'll be a convict.
no,
they continue.
Nah, too far.
is it though?
So,
Push it a lot further.
For sure.
so that put a that obviously spurred you on to continue playing Donkey Kong, because that kind of became your number one game after that competition, hey?
Yeah, but between the second and third Kong off, there was so much other stuff going on at Netherworld that wasn't focused on Kong that I didn't like. I don't know, what did we have? I think we had USA Battle of the Arcades, the second Battle of the Arcades, like Australian Battle of the Arcades, and then just, arcade clubs all the time, whatever
clubs,
other events.
Movie nights, different events, and
Yeah,
arcade
stuff.
wars.
and I'm still trying to play other games on like console and stuff. So I didn't play much until like leading up to Kong Off 3, because my PB, I don't even know if it increased actually. Since
not just
the
to mention
second
that,
Kong
but
Off.
then there's like chasing pins and just drinking different beers as well. Like even that's
Totally,
enough.
man. Yeah, for sure. I was always like chasing pins and trying to get them all, and takes up
Gotta
a lot
catch
of
'em all.
time. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Ash Ketchum of Netherworld, just trying to catch them all. And unfortunately, like Ash, unlike Ash, you're not getting gifted badges when you don't actually win, like he did with Brock and Misty in the series. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh,
If you don't get the score, you don't get the
That
pin at
makes sense,
Netherworld,
mate.
mate.
that's
Someone's
right.
a bit cut about
That's what.
Ash's
That's why there's
badgeability.
That's why there's still point blank pins, or at least one left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. But yeah, he's a terrible trainer, man. At least to begin with. I haven't watched it since then, really. So,
Wow.
who wants to get a badge from a gym leader if you don't win? Just a reminder of your failure. Oi, Milo, cut it out.
Ralph Smilo.
Conversations.
Sits, Hund, sits, sit. Good boy. He listened. He gets a bit protective when he hears noises.
Oh,
All right.
Outside. Yeah, he's all right. Sorry. What the bloody hell are we talking about?
Pins and Pokemon trainers and whatnot.
How terrible Ash Ketchum is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't really get much time, I don't think, for Kong. I think I had a game here and there. And then it did ramp up again after Kong Off 3. And then we had that like 4-day streamathon at Netherworld, just playing Kong all the time. And I was really trying to get a kill screen for a while there. Even rented a machine from Jimmy for a month, like before I came to Germany. And I got my PB on that, 700,800.
Boom.
Yeah.
Good times.
Still is my PB, but hopefully not for long. I'm playing a lot lately and over this weekend we're actually recording on for you guys, it's still, the 15th, right?
Yep.
So it's a Thursday. It's the 15th of July. It's the Thursday before BPAC starts tomorrow. So yeah, I can't make it. So all weekend I'm going to be playing games and drinking beer, and not too much beer, but
Yep.
a few brewskis. Actually, I might go get some craft beer. So then I feel like I'm at Netherworld or one of these awesome, or Brewdog, an awesome like brewery in Australia.
Yeah, man, do it.
Yeah,
That'll be cool.
why not?
So we'll just backtrack a little bit. So
Sorry, mate.
no, all good. So tell us about Kong of 3 and your experience there. Like, you must have felt really comfortable going in, because
I never feel comfortable, mate. That's my secret.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I
I
remember you just
wear like pairs of undies that are 2 sizes too small just to keep me on my toes.
Oh, discomfort.
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong, but
very uncomfortable.
yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but you just rocked up late one day and then just for qualifying and then just put a score on the board, and that was happy days.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
I remember my first game, I got like 180k, and at the time that was like a okay game, wasn't anything special. And then I had like a 350,000 was either the next game or the game after. I can't remember, but that put me in like a good spot. So I didn't really play much after that because I wanted like other mates to get in, like yourself or Dennis or Bushel. I remember you and Bushel were going super hard trying to get in there. And unfortunately, some people or one person would like to hog a machine and didn't give much of a chance for other people. But yeah,
it's not such a bad thing. I think because of the event and the way that it was, like Kong of 3, was an interesting atmosphere. It was at the Echo because I think everyone was still sort of milling around, chatting to each other, and you could go outside and look at like the arm wrestling and listen to the country music that was out there as well. So it was kind of, it's a bit of a different environment to what the Kong off is going to be at Brewdog, that's for sure. And it seems like it would have been like, I never got to go to a Kong off at Netherworld, and everybody speaks very fondly of it. It sounds like it was they were really good events when they were there, and it seems like from what I've heard that it's going to be sort of a similar atmosphere to what's going to kick off in from tomorrow for us as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. Just mate, Kong off 3 was a good one to get exposed to. I think it seemed very laid back and casual, but still kind of cool because you had like the personalities of like the guys from the US coming in, and got to meet Walter as well, which was cool. So yeah, it was pretty awesome, man. Like that was my first exposure to it. So yeah, it was fantastic. So it didn't really matter too much that we didn't get in to qualify, because it was good to meet everybody and sort of hang out and chat and get everyone's stories as well. And that was like the biggest takeaway I got from it, which was fantastic. So, yeah, not such a bad thing. We all can't make it, mate. Not all as good as the. Sorry.
No, that's my phone ringing and the dog barking. Bloody hell! Try to record a podcast, mate. Milo, that's enough, mate. All right.
Yeah, geez, Milo.
Just because you're named after something delicious doesn't mean you can act out.
Yeah.
Hey.
He is kind of malty in color as well. So
he is.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm
not putting him in my milk though. No.
Fair enough. So yeah, it was like, I think Kong of 3 was like, we didn't have any chance. I didn't expect to have any chance to qualify, and it was just so cool to sit back and watch people like yourself, Shaun, and also you too, Neil, to kind of get some pointers. And I think at that point, like, I didn't really know enough about Kong. Like, I'd only seen the Pie Factory level once until Kong off, and just watching everyone play through it time and time again, I'm like, man, these guys are amazing. I can't believe how good everybody is at this game. It was like next level stuff. And
yeah, it's just so much knowledge that you need to learn to like just progress easier.
I know. Yeah.
It's
such
just
a simple
so
game, but well, it looks simple, but it's not.
Yeah, once there's a lot going on, and then once you realize certain things and they actually become part of like your subconscious, where you don't even have to think about it, like the fireballs going certain way after
reflex
they come
for
off.
you.
Yeah, exactly. And when you see people just going through these boards over and over again, it's because they have done it so many times.
Purely muscle memory, some of it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a lot of physical like gaming skill involved in Donkey Kong. Like, yeah, you have to be accurate with the ladders and stuff so you don't get stuck or miss one.
Hmm.
But it's more just knowledge, patience, and discipline, man. That's the biggest things for me. Like, I feel like I know enough to get a kill screen. I don't sometimes have enough patience and discipline to get there. Well, I
Yeah.
always don't have enough to get there because I haven't gotten there yet. But I think I will. Hopefully this weekend, but we'll see.
This weekend.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah, man,
be
that
so
would be awesome.
stoked.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I've gotten close lately. 617,000. Like
Wow.
couple weeks ago, and I've had 2 or 3 500k games and a few 400. So
yeah,
it's coming.
What board's that roughly? Is that sort of getting up towards like
I think 600,000 was like
18?
level 16 or 17.
17. Yeah, about there. Because
I
like
think.
if you're running boards like me, it's about like a level 17 score.
Yeah, so I'm running boards, but I've changed it up a bit. I'm always getting, pretty much always, unless like I need to quickly get out of the way for a fireball on barrels. If a fireball's coming up, then I try to just get out of there. But I'm trying to point press a bit with the top hammer. Like, I'm not running straight to the right and doing the safest possible thing. And I'm also point pressing in the first 4 levels where I can.
Yep.
Not everywhere I can, but kind of safe ways. Yeah. So hopefully I'm getting a mid 800s score when I get the kill screen. But if I don't, fair enough. But it would be cool to beat Johnny and Bushel. It would be nice. More so Johnny, because we have a bit of a rivalry, a friendly rivalry. Yeah, and if you're going to get a kill screen, it'd be cool to not have to try to get it again if you want to improve your score, because I'm pretty much not done with the game, but I'm not going to play it heaps, at least for a while. Maybe one day I get the bug again, because I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I really do like it, and that feeling you get when you start to get past 300,000, 400,000, it's like, fuck, this could be something, because it's literally like something I've worked not every day or anything, but over a few years for.
A few years worth,
Yeah.
So
some
it's
serious
exciting.
hours, man.
Yeah, for sure. Probably the game I've played the most out of any game, I'd say. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. Getting back to Kong off 3, how do you remember how you felt about the whole Billy Mitchell, Walter Day coming, just with their history at the time and being in the community and understanding it a little bit more? Like, what was your?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, what was your feelings there?
I was stoked actually, because at the time I didn't know much about the whole like drama surrounding Billy and his apparent cheating. And having his scores removed. Like, I just sort of knew him as a celebrity from King of Kong, and that there had been some drama recently, but also that the jury was still out, kind of, that there wasn't like sufficient proof either way. My opinion now is changed a bit, but at the time I thought it was really cool to meet him. He was super nice. He was pretty funny to talk to. And yeah, he seemed happy to be there. It was cool. And meeting Walter was interesting as well. He was super nice and talked about transcendental meditation. And yeah, it was kind of the weird and wonderful guy that you would expect.
Cool.
It was really cool. And got their signatures. I got them both to sign my copy of King of Kong.
Man.
Which is really, really cool to have, because like that's the start of like, that's kind of the start of my obsession and love for classic arcade gaming, at least. Watching that documentary, and yeah, I didn't have anything against him being there. I didn't care that he won, that he wasn't Australian, or that he anything like that. I just thought it was a cool event. I enjoyed it.
It's best guy on the day, really. Like, you can't sort of. There's no way that you can sort of influence that. It's like anything in I'm sure I'm about to find out in the next couple of days. It's you versus Donkey Kong directly. So, you know.
Yeah, I'm so stoked, man, for you guys to be at a level now where you're definitely like in the running to get into the top 16. And I'm going to be watching so much. And I don't want to hear this, Dennis, that you're not in the running, mate. You are. To get into
Yeah,
the
definitely.
qualifying at least. And man, you're going to have a PB. The Kong-offs bring a lot of good play out of people. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if you get a PB, mate, but no pressure.
Totally.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all right. I'll just go in and I just want to enjoy it. I just want to go in and sort of hang out with everyone and just sort of just enjoy the time. Like it's great that we've got people up here, been able to get up here for it, and so I just want to make the most of that, mate. And you know, when the time comes to sit down and play the game, and yeah, just want to sort of share it with everybody. And you know, if something good happens, that's great. If it doesn't, well, you know, like it's not going to be my last game. So
no
it's
way.
like
then you just practice for Kong-off 5, man.
That's it. And,
yeah,
the chips fall where they may.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
I was going to ask Shaun, like when you before we move on, actually, talking about meeting Walter, I found it a really sort of amazing experience to meet that guy. Like both of you guys, did you sort of meet him? Were you guys like walking around together when you met Walter, and was he just like sort of milling around the pavilion, or did you sort of catch him at like the ceremony when we were getting our awards and stuff, or how did that work?
I remember talking to him outside of the actual where the pinballs and Donkey Kong machines were, where near like the Mortal Kombat machine.
Yeah,
That was like near the bar, and I was just having a chat with him there. Someone else was with me. Maybe it was John Tannehill. I can't remember, but yeah, we just had a chat, and he seems super relaxed and in the moment.
Yeah, man.
And
so zen, man. Like,
yeah, it was really cool. And had his referee shirt on, and
he was repping, dude, big time. It was like
for sure.
I just remember when I met him, I think I came in the first time I'd walked into the pavilion and seen the setup, and Walter was there and Billy was there. There weren't a lot of people around at the time of morning that I got in, and so Evan Weston and I ended up coming in there in the event. We went in there the same time, and Walter saw us both and sort of spoke to us and by name, and so he's like, "Oh, here's my friends Dennis Edmonds and Evan Weston, and their records in so and so and whatever." And I think Evan and I were both like, "Wow!" Like, so not only does this guy like know who we are by face, but he knows like what records we've got, and probably knew the scores we got as well. And so we sort of had a chat to him, and despite being enormously hungover, which I was that day, it was still like pretty awesome. Like you can see like the photo that Evan and I got. Evan's like got this big smile on his face, and I'm just standing there like this big ball of hair on one side of my head, going like, that's just
that's right.
It was like
Kong-off.
It was so cool, man. Really loved it. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Sorry, Neil.
No, that's all good.
Mate.
So yeah, but my meeting with him, I didn't source him out or anything. But there was a time that we were swapping over from the commentating, and I was chatting to him there. The only kind of conversation I had with him was he was pulling all these convict jokes because we're Australian. So yeah, and he thought they were hilarious. But it's funny. Before, it took me a while when he was saying them. They're like those jokes aren't around much anymore at all. So like it was just like, oh yeah, we're convicts because we're Australian.
I'd much prefer that rather than like the upside down jokes that you hear all the time, because you know we're on the wrong side of the world, and that Australia's upside down and whatever. I hear those and I'm like, oh man, it's been done to death. Like it's funny once, but geez.
Yeah, give us some
new material.
Jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Bring them back.
Yeah.
So you rock up on the second day and you have a look at the Donkey Kong board, and you're up against Michael Kibbe. How did
Who?
that feel going into that competition?
Sorry, who?
Michael Kibbe, that's Morgan Kibbe's brother.
Oh, yeah, I know Morgan. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Just I squashed Michael Kibbe like a bug, so I forget who he is now. No, just kidding. Yeah, dude, I thought he was going to kick my ass for sure because he's a kill screener.
Yeah, well,
You would be able to squish him. He's a lot taller than you.
Yeah. No, we're about the same height. I think he might be
really?
taller, though. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I might be wrong about
Bloody
this.
6'3", mate.
Mate.
That's all good.
At the time in that first comp, there was 8 kill screeners playing 8 non-kill screeners. That's kind of how it worked out.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, wow. Very even.
So yeah, it must have been. Do you remember much about the match? Like, did it go for long, or was there?
Well, it didn't go very long for Michael Kibbe, mate. I'll tell you that much. Whoa. No, obviously it went for a few seconds longer for me, but I didn't know what his score was. I wasn't like looking at his screen or anything. I was just trying to focus. I was in the zone. I was pretty nervous. Yeah. But I had only lost one man, maybe 2, by 160,000, which in a Kong off game where it's head to head and the stakes are pretty high, like I was pretty happy with that. And I could hear some sort of murmuring behind me, I guess, about Kibbe's game.
What's wrong with that guy's neck?
Actually, I think I probably heard that from you. Jesus Christ, we should get to the hospital. And then all of a sudden Kibbe was out. And I was like, what? No way. No way. And then I couldn't believe it. And I was through.
So, I'd imagine because you're so in the zone, like you would have to be so focused on your game and nothing else, that all of a sudden someone tells you that the other person's out. And like, it must be like kind of like not a shock, but like, like a.
Yeah, I think I didn't want to get in my head about like thinking about, I've got this, or holy shit, his score's higher than mine, or he's got more men. I just wanted to focus on my game.
I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, unless you're super confident. Like,
try and stay out of your own head. It's like the hardest thing, man.
Yeah, that's a huge part of Kong. Hey, just like if you die, just move on. I feel like I've gotten really good at that now. Like now when I die, I get a bit, I don't know, a quick few seconds of like, shit. But then I move on. I don't often die twice in a row anymore.
So just that. It's even when you're in PB territory as well, and you start sort of second and third guessing yourself when you go and like move a certain way. You see like a firefox go one way, and you're like, oh, should I follow him or should I go down the ladder or shit? What do I? And then instead, which would be totally fine for you in the lower levels, but then because you're getting up to sort of PB territory, the nerves kick in, and it's just it's really hard to stay focused, man.
It changes the way you play because you're going from autopilot, fully taking yourself out of that zone, and
back to manual,
overthinking, and it really messes with you. I try to remember what Matt Tecchio said in one of the group chats recently. Just think about like that you're on whatever score you're on, pretend you're on like 150,000 and you're just trying to get to 200,000. So that's another 50K. That's easy, right? That's a big difference to thinking about, holy shit, I'm on 500,000 and I'm trying to get to kill screen. Like just take it one bit at a time and pretend, like trick your mind that it's not as important or as scary as it is then like for where you are. But it only works to a certain extent. You still know. I try not to focus on the score or the level too much and just go try to think about what board's coming next.
Knows.
Yeah, he does. He's played enough Kong for many men, so he knows what's up.
Yeah, right. So after beating Kibbe, who did you move on to?
Oh man, next up was Billy Jr. and I bombed out basically. He played well. I don't even know if he lost a man, and I think I was out by somewhere in the 100s, maybe 110, 120. which is pretty disappointing. I feel like I wouldn't have many games if I play each game out. Like I would rarely have that low of a score.
Yeah.
So maybe it was the nerves or whatever, but
How is that for a comp score though, Shaun? Like, is that sort of is that something like, because obviously it's knockout, and is that sort of like
it's
what you
enough to get you
expect? Like
through.
I was going to say, is that kind of like the median sort of thing? Because like the other person can have a bad game. Is that sort of is that generally?
I think it's not a safe score. I'd say like generally a 200 or 300k is probably a safer score, because a lot of people can get past 100 quite easily now.
Yeah.
But I mean, nerves and the atmosphere and machine that you're not familiar with, like there's so much more that comes into play.
Noisy pinball machines, all sorts of things.
Drunk Neil asking about your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the scores don't go over 250,000, like from the research that I've done within the Australian Commonwealth. If you're getting a 250 plus, you're in a pretty good space. There haven't been many games that go for longer than that.
No, Dennis.
And I think it goes. I think it goes a long way to when you're at home and you lose a quick man, you just restart the game. And I think that plays with what people think that their average would be a lot. So, and then like including all the nerves of Kong off and everything, like you're not going to be getting hot, like you're not going to get PBs in that kind of atmosphere. So, all that together, I think makes it feel like a pretty, like a low scoring games compared to what people's PBs are.
Yeah,
which makes it exciting. That's why it's so exciting to watch, isn't it? Because like anything can happen.
It kind of would get a bit boring if like each game was kill screen. Everyone was kill screen all the time. It's like each round's going for 2 hours. Like it's kind of more exciting that they are shorter and that people are likely to get out before 200k, 300k. You know, like hey, I'm so keen to watch it this weekend. I don't watch much stuff like people playing games, because if I have time to watch, I'd rather be playing myself. But I'm going to have it on like heaps of the weekend, at least on the TV while I play. And I'm super keen to see, because like it's like watching some sort of big tournament, you know, as if like you're watching NBA, like a sport. But I like know basically everyone who's involved, which is really cool. And super keen. I'm so stoked for you guys that this is happening, especially after missing out last year and all the bullshit with COVID.
It's still going on. It's just going ahead at the same time though this time.
It's still bullshit happening, hey. But
there is,
it's pretty sad. We interviewed Shaun Tagg. He was really looking forward to it and had a lot of good stories to share. Unfortunately, he won't be able to make it now. Jack Filippi is another one from Melbourne, and J-Mac is another one that we interviewed. But those boys won't be making it anymore, and the Sydney boys are unable to make it. So mainly going to be Brisbane Kong off. There's a couple of guys from New South Wales, from not Sydney that are able to come.
Outside of the red zone, there are still parts of New South Wales, so there's still green zones, and so they were still able to travel up freely, which is great. And just at the moment, I think from what we were talking about earlier today, Neil, that I think we're just happy to see anyone who is able to make their way up now, just because of the snap change and restrictions that we've been witness to over the last few days. And it's I think we really feel for the event organisers, and it's sort of still fantastic that it's going ahead, but at the same time, it's important to acknowledge that just how sort of devastating it can be for people who have come up for this, and also the people that organise it. Just especially being like boots on ground today and finding out that sort of information while we're trying to set everything up. Wow.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah, for sure. we are fortunate that Matt Tecchio and Phil Day, who does the commentating for
Yes.
Kongok, is able to make it. So,
Yep.
but we're lucky. Just thanking our lucky stars that some people have been able to make it. You know, that it is still going ahead for the people that are here.
Completely agree. Did you catch Phil when he arrived this evening, Neil?
No.
Okay.
But
So,
looking forward to meeting him.
Sorry, mate. Go ahead.
I think I'm Phil Day's like #1 fan. I absolutely love Phil. I think he's great.
He's cool.
He's an Australian treasure, and
funny thing about Phil this evening when like even though like yes, there's been some things that have been that there have been some setbacks and some really bad some really bad news with a lot of people that were really looking forward to it not being able to make it, but some things it's kind of nice, and some things are as consistent as gravity with Phil walking in and sort of saying hello to everyone quickly, and then watching his eyes scan the room, and while he's talking to you, going, "Oh yeah, it didn't have a bad flight, and it's good to be up here. Oh look, Robotron," and then just sort of trails off.
That's right.
I'm just gonna go have a game of Robotron. It's like the best thing to have that.
What a legend.
Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an event without Phil Day and some Robotron.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I've actually got like a mini series that I've done, and I've actually interviewed him just about his Gallagher score. It's something that, to be honest, like I really feel like that's one of the best scores in Australian history in regards to arcade gaming. Just for when he set it and what tools he had available to him. Like there wasn't much information out there on the game. So yeah, and Gallagher is such a big track on Twin Galaxies. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so glad that that Phil and some people have been able to come along. So yeah.
Spacey's Cafe and Arcade in Toowoomba kindly sponsors the Play It Up podcast. If you are ever in or near Toowoomba, we think you're crazy if you don't give them a visit. Spacey's has loads of arcade and pinball machines, retro consoles, and even air hockey. They have an excellent selection of food and drinks for the whole family, and have some great beers on tap. Spacey's is open Wednesday through Sunday, and you can check them out on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with the awesome events they have going on there. Spacey's is located at 2 Club Lane in Toowoomba. Take a trip back to the 80s with Spacey's.
Back to it. So, Dennis, you've been working on. You've been a prominent figure within setting up the BPAC this year at Brewdog, which is a very different venue to what we've had previously. I think it's going to be a bit more away from the public in regards to the last Kong of 3.
Yes.
But this space has to be seen. It is absolutely huge.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So this year, I think Jimmy and Adam have been lucky enough to secure 12 cabinets. So that's the biggest number of DK cabinets that have been brought together for a Kong off in the Southern Hemisphere to date. So Adam and I, over the last 3 days, have been helping to get all the cabs set up and putting them through their paces and a few other things. And one of the cabs needed a few little bits and pieces finished up. So that was what I was up to just for a couple of days. Fitting some stuff and a little bit of painting and maintenance and fitting T-molding and all that sort of fun stuff, and finishing off projects. And I think looking at everything in the lineup now this afternoon, just before I left, I think that the venue where the BPAC events are set up in the brew hall over at Brewdog, all of the lights got turned off, and so we could see all the marquees and all of the cabs lit up, and in that light, it just looked absolutely spectacular. It was fantastic. So yeah, it was nice to see all of our work there, and all these nice cabs that are all about sort of 95% fine-tuned, ready to rock and roll for the level 3 comp that kicks off tomorrow. So yeah, a couple of days worth of work, and yeah, just a few little things tomorrow, Neil, and everything should be good to go.
Yeah, nice. Must be a great feeling having your own Donkey Kong cab as one of the cabs to add to the collection there.
It is good. It makes spending an exorbitant amount of money at least a little bit more validating than yeah. We were talking to a couple of mates about whether or not it's something that you'd want to do in sharing the cabinet that you built, or whether you'd want to just keep it at home and keep it undamaged, because by allowing what's essentially the public to play your cabinet, that the possibility is there that it'll sort of get a little bit more worn or a bit more damaged. And I was sort of of the opposite persuasion that I've spent this money on this nice cabinet, and I'm more than happy to show it off and for everybody to have a game on it. It's a great cab to play, and it fits in the lineup really well, mate. So yeah, now that it's all ready to rock and roll and it's in the lineup, I'm more than happy to have it in there. It's fantastic, and it's nice to see so many. I think so many cabs all lined up in the one spot. I thought it was pretty cool in Kong off 3. I think we had 8 cabs, maybe.
8 cabs then. Yep.
Mhm.
So Kong off 2, we had 8 cabs as well, and Kong off 1 was 4 cabs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, look at how it's grown. It's been and it was fantastic to get the opportunity to assist with that. I think just because of the quantity of cabs that there was nothing that was sort of formally sort of offered as such. I was just talking to Adam about the work that he had to do and trying to prepare all of these cabs ready for D-Day when we go in and start all the events. And so we knew that there were going to be a lot of pinballs there, and I think that almost put Dave out of commission for any assistance with the DK side. And the Kong Off is like one of the flagship events of BPAC, and so it was just going to be Adam getting the lineup all ready to go. And so I just asked, well, if you'd like an extra set of hands to help you with some basic stuff, I'm happy to help. And so that's kind of what it's just been, mate. And so it's been good. And I think I only planned it to be just one day to go in there and help. And yeah, so it's been 3 days now straight. So it's been like
Yeah.
3 days of like at least 10 hours a day in there.
Wow.
We've been in there rocking it, dude. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. And I'll share some photos so that you can see what everything looks like. But
Yeah.
the results are great. And I mean, you got to have a wander around today, Neil. I think it was before we did the last reshuffle. But yeah, everything's looking pretty nice, mate.
Yeah, it was great to see like just rows of pinballs and rows of arcades in the one room. One thing we talk about how much we loved Kong Off 2 within Netherworld because it was such a small group, but like one of the downsides to that was that they had to do the all the pinballs in a different venue. So a lot of the pinball guys that we love weren't around for that. So I think it's great that everyone's going to be there this time in the same place. So really looking forward to that.
Do you know much about the setup? So they did this at Kong of 3, where there were 2 rows of arcades down the middle, but then there were the pinballs on the opposite side, and so we found that during Kong of 3 that there are a lot of pinball players that had to cross through the arcade area to get back to either side of where all the pinballs were. Had you ever spoken to anybody organising it as to the setup of that? Because it's something I'd been meaning to ask, but it never sort of crosses my mind when we're talking about the setup of it. I just find it intriguing why it's set up like that.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure, but the same layout has been implemented in Brewdog, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
It seems to be kind of like a standard thing. And I was interested to sort of understand why you'd have maybe you'd have the pinballs together and then the arcade together, and separating them and sort of staggering them across one another. It
Maybe
kind of looks
it's-
cool.
Could be to encourage like mixing kind of among the groups, so not all the arcade players stick together in one area and all the pinball players stick together in one area. Maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly.
The only theory I've got in regards to that would be also you wouldn't want pinballs back to back because of like how much they move the machines.
Oh, okay.
You know, so that might be a reason as well.
That's
but
true.
yeah,
And maybe too much noise in one little area as well.
That's true. Yeah, they do generate a lot of noise.
Yeah. Especially like that Wizard of Oz or Ghostbusters. Like those things are
The
like
screaming thing.
you really think it's going to like run away or something, or like fly off. It's insane.
Harlem Globetrotters pinball is pretty loud as well. Whoa.
Yeah.
That was playing
definitely.
like most of the last couple of days, and so I'm getting to know that tune pretty well.
Yeah.
So all systems go, sir. It's I think just like I was saying, mate, some finishing touches tomorrow, and our cabs are ready to rock and roll.
It's great.
It's going to be
the three. Sorry, just before I forget, the level 3 comp being on the Friday tomorrow. That's great because if there's any issues, it can be sorted out before like the big, flagship Kong off event.
Yeah.
That's nice it's sort of
qualifiers even.
Yeah, exactly. So just if anyone that doesn't know, tomorrow, Friday the 16th, that's going to be the level 3 comp. So best score you can get after the third level of Donkey Kong.
Yep.
And then on Saturday's qualifiers, right? And Sunday is the actual head-to-head tournament of the top 16. Yeah. So tune in via Twitch. Is it going to be streamed, on Netherworld's Twitch?
It'll be
or Brewdogs, or
it might be BPAC. I think BPAC's actually no, sorry. I think it might be Netherworlds. I think BPAC might be the pinball stream. Maybe.
Okay.
I might have it around the wrong way, but we can confirm that with Jimmy.
Yeah, people could Google it, check on Netherworld's Instagram or Facebook.
Watch them both.
And also look for BNE Pack. Yeah, watch them both.
Open up different tabs and have them side by side. Multiple rainbows.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. Just a nice casual competition that no one's really going to take seriously, I don't think, and just a really good way to start everything off. Like you said,
the level 3.
Mate,
Johnny Bond's going to take it seriously.
I know Aaron. I know Aaron's taking it seriously.
Aaron, I mean, he's in with a shot, I think. Like, if you take it seriously, I mean, I think if Tekio puts his mind to it, like, he's going to do it because he is the best point presser.
Well, he'll be quick to tell you.
Barrow's rocking in as well, so...
Yeah, Barrow and Tekio, man.
He's no slouch. It's going to be some big hitters there.
Yeah.
Aaron will be the first to tell you that he's like third in the world for the 5-minute run. So on
but that's a speed run. That's not a point pressing run.
I think he's
the opposite of point pressing.
I think he still presses that score though. I might be wrong.
Wait, was it a score or right? Yeah, it is. It is a score, but it's more like a speed run because you're trying to get as many bonus points as you can from as many levels.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Anyway,
level 3, you can take your time as long as you survive. And you get all 3 lives, right? So you have to be right. So you have to be strategic about where you sack.
Yeah, totally.
Man, that's Tekio can get if he sacks on level 1-1, he can probably just get 30,000 before he ever leaves the first board.
Yeah. So it'll be fun and interesting, and I'm looking forward to just meeting everyone, meeting again, and just hanging out. So it should be good.
I don't want to hear this not taking it serious bullshit though, right? I want to see everyone focused. and having. Yeah, I want to see everyone having fun, but I
having
think
beers.
it's more interesting for me if everyone's going hard because I'm over here in Germany.
I'll go
Yep.
hard for you, Shaun. I always go hard for you.
Bloody.
Attaboy, Neil. Attaboy.
You don't know. You don't know how much that means to me, mate.
Shaun, you've got some things in the pipeline to keep yourself entertained while BPAC's on.
Yeah, so much RedTube. Ugh. Oh, sorry.
A lot to catch up on.
Yeah. I've got for people that couldn't make it, like myself and Jack and J-Mac and Tagster. Who knows? Maybe Alan Stall will join in if he'll grace us with his presence. But just through one of the Facebook pages, the Aussie Kong Pals, just going to see who can get the best score over the weekend.
Yeah, man.
And also, we're going to do a level 4 comp. So best score over the weekend up until level 4. Well,
nice.
Until the end of level 4.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting. And like, there's no prize or anything that I've thought of, but just something to keep, everyone streaming and playing, or whether they stream or not doesn't really matter, but people playing and having a good time. And
it's a good idea, man.
But,
especially just to sort of keep everybody involved. And while it's disappointing that there are some people who have been looking forward to this for a while and can't make it, it's something, and I think it's a really nice thing to do. So yeah, it's cool that it's going ahead. It's a great idea.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to be playing Donkey Kong all weekend anyway, so maybe now I will. Oh yeah. See, I can't really submit a end of level 4 as well as the same game. Try to get a kill screen, because if you don't sack, then you're not getting maximum points.
Right. So you're going to have your level 4 games and your
and just
games.
Running board, sort of playing it out games.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably try to get a few level 4 games in, try to get up a score early, because I really just want to focus on getting a kill screen. It's time.
Yeah, the guys in Sydney would be down for that as well, I'm sure, mate. I think that'd be really cool, especially if you did like what's the website that's used for all the events that
match play.
Match play. You could set up a match play dashboard for everyone remote, so then you can keep track of all the scores instead of just thousands of message posts on like pals.
Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to set up a match play, and then people can submit their score.
Yeah, so if you can't
either via Facebook or to me, and then I can add it into match play.
That'd be really cool.
Man, that'd be grand. And you guys can keep track too, but I mean, that's such a small thing compared to Kong Off. So
I don't know. I'd be really happy to see everyone. Be really happy to see everyone sort of get involved with it, and then maybe even have them on to have a chat, and that'd be really great.
Cool. Yeah, sure. That'd be nice. Love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And I really like that episode with Tagster.
I can tell. Yeah, that was one of your first impersonations, like when we first started.
You know what? Are you excited for the Kong Off?
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Kong Off.
It's such a bad impersonation.
It's not very accurate.
It's actually pretty good, but
there's so many different English accents, but I love listening to him talk. Shout out to you, Tagster, you legend. I'm not making fun of you, mate. It's impersonations are more of a form of flattery. Sometimes it's making fun of, but not this time.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Shaun, and being
our
guest. And I know it's a bit topsy-turvy because you are the host of this podcast, but
only sometimes.
Loved hearing your stories, and good luck with your competition on the weekend, and to you too, Dennis. Good luck with the rest of BPAC and
to you, sir,
the competition itself.
Good luck to you both for the whole week.
All right,
and
there can be only one.